Hey guys, how's it going? Butler TCG here, and we're going to be doing our first part of the newest series that I have going on, where I do my budget decks and play those and all that good stuff. And I had an open poll on Zodiac Duelist, and the deck that ended up winning was Tenyi. So for the next month, I am playing Tenyi in tons of videos and stuff like that you guys will see. And so the first video is going to be a opening of some of the cards I got here that were kindly donated to me by Colby Spencer of Apex Cards. And I haven't read any of the Tenyi cards before, actually. I think maybe except Vishuda, the dark one. But I haven't read any of these other than that. So I'm going to open all of these. This is going to be my first impressions of the cards and stuff like that. So we'll just start with this pack right here. And the whole idea behind this series is that I'm going to take a deck I've never read before. I'm not allowed to net deck. I'm not allowed to look up any guides on it or anything like that. And we're going to just see how I can do with this deck in some remote duels and some theory and all that. And by the end, hopefully, I have a pretty comprehensive deck here. So let's start off with the monsters. So I think they all have the same effect. Where, yeah, if I have no effect monsters, I can special summon them from the hand for free. So that's pretty cool. And you can see here, he was nice enough to donate me each of these. Let's see if there's any other ones here, I think. Hopefully he sent the water one. I'm not totally sure if he did. Oh, well, we got Skill Drain, Mares. That's pretty great. Let's see. Final pack here, and I'll go over the ones that I have. I might have to go buy the water one. Hopefully not. Oh, he is the man. He sent basically everything I could need besides, I think, Demise the Land was the only card he said he couldn't get me, which is pretty insane. Oh, and he sent me a Nidhogg. Apparently that's good in the deck, so we're going to trust him on this. So we're going to go over each of these cards. This is insane. Big shout out to Colby here for sending me all of these cards. Definitely check him out. I'll link to his store, so you guys can definitely take a look at that, because super awesome guy. So we have Adhara here, which is a tuner. That's always worth noting right there. Let's see, if I control in the face of non-effect monster, I can banish this from my hand or graveyard, then target one of my banished worms, add it to my hand. So that's kind of good. I mean, all of these have the same ability to be a starter, because I can just special summon them for free, so that's kind of cool. This seems like it'll make my grind games pretty good. I just have to find, I'm assuming there's ways to banish my worm monsters. The fire one is a level 4. Activates a card effect that targets face up non-effect monster. I can banish this card from my hand or graveyard, negate the activation, and if I do, destroy it. So that's cool. This is a negation card. So this lets me banish it, which that's kind of cool, actually. Some protection. Then you got Nahada. Let's turn these around here. Nahada. Let's see what this one does. Attack is declared involving my face of non-effect monster and opponent's face-up monster. Banish this from my hand or graveyard. That opponent's monster loses 1,500. So that one doesn't seem too great. That's pretty weak. I try to avoid cards that only mess with their stats. But, I mean, also being a worm is kind of useful, though, so that might be something. Then you got Vishuda, which you can banish this card from hand or graveyard. Target one card your opponent controls, return to the hand. So this is a bounce. That's not too bad. So that gives you a little bit of field control. Then you've got Ashuna. I'm probably butchering these names. Let's see. If you control face of a non-effect monster, banish this card from your hand to graveyard, special summon one Tenyi monster from your deck, except an Ashuna. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of your this turn, except worms. That's pretty crazy. So that lets you, that's an extender as well as a starter, like all in one. That's pretty crazy. This is the expensive one, the water one. Let's read what this one does. Shithana? If you destroy a battle card, if you manage this card, then turn one of those destroyed monsters, special summon it, then you can destroy. Wow, okay. So this card's crazy. So what this does is it lets you banish to, when one of your monsters dies, to bring back the monster and then pop a card. That's insane. That's destroy one opponent's monster. That's really good, though. Then you've got Nidhogg. You can only control one. When your opponent would special summon a monsters, I contribute one generator monster or one worm monster, negate the summon, and if I do, destroy that oh. So this is just crazy. This lets you tribute worms to negate summons. Wow. All right. And then you've got Mare. I think everybody should know what Mare does. It lets you summon tokens. That's pretty cool. Then you've got Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi. This is their field spell. One of the only cards I don't have access to right now is Demise of the Land, but that's supposed to be coming in the mail thanks to Alex at Guardian Games. Let's see. All non-effect monsters in the field are unaffected by monster effects. Okay, that's crazy. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face-down monster or non-effect monster, I can draw 2 cards. Wow, that's... Okay, I get it. So this just lets you draw cards. That's pretty crazy. Then you've got Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. Send 1 worm from your deck to the graveyard. Then if you control a face of non-effect, can add them from your deck to your hand when Tenyi monster with a different name from the monster. Okay, so this is a Foolish Burial as well as a Rhoda. Wow, that's really good actually. This deck might not be too terrible. So far, it seems like it's going to suffer from some efficiency, but cards like this definitely help with that. And then you got Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi. I'm going to go through the rest of the Tenyi cards first, and then I'll talk about the non-Tenyi cards I've got from them. Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up non-effect monster, negate the activation. If this set card I control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, I can special summon 1 non-effect monster from my extra deck. So this is it's like a barrier as well as a summon. That's really good. So it's kind of like a, barrier is a pretty old example. That tells you how long I've been playing. This is a crescendo, but instead of banishing to summon a search, if it's destroyed, I can just summon. That's really good. Then you've got Monk of the Tenyi, 3 of those. That's pretty... That doesn't do anything. It's just a generic non-effect monster. Helps you get started. Berserker the Tenyi. It's a generic Link 3 non-effect monster. Same thing. Then he only had 2 shamans, but I don't know that I'm going to necessarily play a lot of this, so we'll see. It's 2 worms. I can discard 1 card, then target a worm monster in my graveyard. Special summon it. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate monsters or the effects of monsters special summon from the extra deck except Tenyi monsters. Okay. When an attack is declared involving your face-up non-effect monster, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Well, that's not too bad. This card isn't crazy, though. It's just a way to extend, but, you know, that's not too bad. Then we got Draco Masters of the Tenyi. Cannot be destroyed by battle with an effect monster. Okay, that's cool. If you control no other effect monsters, you can destroy effect monsters your opponent controls up to the number of non-effect monsters you control and or in your graveyard. You only use this effect once per turn. So that's pretty cool. He didn't send me a Draco Berserker of the Tenyi because I actually already own one. That's not in this video. Sorry about that, guys, but I do have one for this this series. I don't imagine I'll need more than one. Then you've got Tenyi Spirit Sahasrara? Sahasrara? That's a name. This is from Dual Overload. This is supposed to be pretty great for the deck. 2+ worm monsters. It's a Link 4, so it's going to take 4, but it's at least 2 worms. While you control a face-up non-effect monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target effect monsters for attacks. Okay. Also, your opponent cannot target effect monsters on the field with card effects. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty hard to kill right there. Quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, special summon 1 Tenyi Spirit token, so I gotta see if they have those in the OCG. Otherwise, I'll just use, like, the structure deck, the Sacred Beast ones. Special summon 1 Tenyi Spirit token. It's a Worm Light level 4, question mark attack, 0 defense. This target's attack becomes the targeted monster's original attack, and I can only use that effect once per turn. So this summons tokens for free. That's crazy. This card's insane. This deck might actually not be too garbage. Just gonna see. We'll see how this goes, though, because these are just my first thoughts, eh? Then we've got 3 Burial from a different dimension, because, you know, my whole deck, like, so many cards banish. 3 Waterfall, the Dragon Souls. This is gonna be a nice boosted consistency. And then a Skill Drain, because so many of your effects don't rely on the field. So this is the first video, guys. I will be putting together a deck with these and probably posting that in the next few days. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though. But I'll see you guys next time.